Hi, my name is Rosemary Gerding from the class ECCE 1105 spring semester with the instructor Maria Abercrombie. And I'm going to be talking about chapter 2 from the book Healthy, Safety, and Nutrition for a Young Child. My presentation is going to be about daily healthy observation. And this is something that, as I have been a teacher for 6 years, and I never realized how important can be a daily checkup when a child arrives to our classroom. This helps us to know this child better and see any changes if this child has any changes throughout the day, any concerns that we can have, or our observation can help us to see if there's any changes throughout the school year in this child and prevent to have a sick kid in our classroom. This procedure it should be done in front of the parents in a private place, and it probably might take around 2 minutes. If we do it as a routine every day in the morning, it will be easier for a teacher to apply this to the daily routine in the class hours. So as I say, this routine can help us to detect any early sign or symptoms that this child can have in that moment or throughout the school year. So as I say, we need to find a quiet place to do this checkup, and it's important that the parents is in front of in that moment so we can ask questions about the child as well. And the book mentioned like a checklist that we can. I want to mention a few things about the checklist so that will help us to make sure that we do a good observation, or we make sure that we cover all the angles for this daily observation checkup. So the healthy observation checklist mentioned that we need to check the scalp, check if it's itching, if it's any lice on the hair, if the child has any hair loss. We need to check the face of the child, if the child is happy, anger, the skin tone of the child, the eyes, look for redness, for tear, for puffiness, sensitivity to light, ears, check if it's any drainage or redness, nose, if it's any running nose, if the child is rubbering, has any congestion, mouth, making sure there is no any unusual breath odor or any redness or cavities, the throat, neck, we need to make sure see the neck of the child as well, the speech of the child, how the child express, if you talk clearly, and listening to if the child can listen well, can listen the I don't know how to say that in English. Any information that we give them to the child. The extremes we need to check. We need to take jackets, make sure that we check everything. If it has any bruise, behavior, if the child has any behavior or tempting in the moment that it's coming to the school. The relationship between the child and the parents is important to see if the parents does everything for the child, put the shoes on, take the jacket for him, or the treatment that this parent gives to this child is important for us to observe as well. The mental health is another part that is important that we keep in mind in these healthy checkups that we do. If the child is sad, if the child present any anger or difficulty concentrating or aggression, irritability, unexplained changes, excessive fear, those are things that we also need to check on a child. And more if we have a child that already is bringing a pattern in the classroom, That's why it's important that we have the parents there as well, that we can ask questions. How was the night before? If this child even at what time has breakfast? At what time drink the last time they drink anything? How was the behavior before came to the school in the car? So that will help us to understand um, the behavior of this child throughout the day and throughout the school year. And also, if this child is sick and we understand that we are looking things in this child, that it doesn't um, make us feel comfortable, so we can send that child home. Like if the child looks sick, it has red eyes, runny nose, and we ask questions and the child didn't have a good night, well, it might be something going on in the child. It might be better for that child to stay home. I hope this helped to all of you. I think it's going to help me a lot because it wasn't something that I wasn't thinking before, and it's important to know even if the child has a small scratch. It's important if we observe that when the child arrives to the classroom because, for example, if we have a child that is 1 year old or maybe two and is not talking yet, um, we don't know if this scratch that the child has in the forehead was in the school or it was before the child came to school. So it's important that we make sure that we do a good assessment every morning before that child arrives inside of the classroom and do it in front of the parents so we can take that time to ask any questions that we have.